Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So happy Saturday. Let's, of course, talk about what's going on with Bitcoin. Why did it suddenly fail or fall? It didn't fail. Poor choice of words. But you know who did fail? That stream last night or morning, afternoon. No, it was morning. That Roaring Kitty stream. You know what? We got to talk about that, okay? Even though it really has nothing to do with crypto. Everyone was tuning in. Everyone's watching it. Let's talk about how that failed. And everything else that's going on today. Hey, I got a new topic for you guys, too. So let's talk about that as well. All right. Let's get started. Welcome, guys. Happy Saturday. Let's just start out with this. All right. Let's just talk about Roaring Kitty and GameStop. Yesterday when I started live streaming, GameStop was already down like 20-something%, right? But everyone was waiting for the very highly anticipated live stream from Roaring Kitty. And in case you don't know, he hasn't streamed for 3 years. He's the one that's behind the GameStop phenomenon. The rise against the hedge funds caused Melvin Capital to almost go bankrupt, and he was sued by the SEC before and won and victorious. And recently he's been showing his portfolio, which ballooned up to almost $600 million, including some call options that are set to expire in a couple weeks. So a lot of people want to see what he was going to do, right? And it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. There were 500,000 people waiting before he started. First of all, he waited 30 minutes. If you guys thought I waited long, he waited 30 minutes after his initial posted time to start. And there was 500,000 plus people watching. Okay. And why I call it a fail is because I think most people that watched it found out. He said absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing about GameStop, nothing about his moves, nothing at all in regards to his plan, the community, what he's going through. I don't know, anything at all. That's what people came in and were expecting, something, right? To get the excitement going, or to get the community to get behind the movement once again, or something. Talk about Bitcoin. Like, I was in there trying to chime in, but with 500, 600,000 people, the chat, even with slow-mo, is going crazy. Nothing was said. He just said a whole lot about nothing. Just ranted about nothing, actually. It would have been better if he just ranted about hedge funds or anything, right? Or the SEC. Talk bad about Gary. Do something. Nothing at all. And he even admitted while he was streaming, the stock went down even more. So it ended the day at minus 40% and another 4% after hours. So this got 2.2 million views. And no one knows what's going on. Now, some people, I know there are a lot of Roaring Kitty fans and believers, and they think that this was just a ploy, okay? This was done on purpose by a genius, and he has something else planned behind the scenes, right? There's no way someone that turned $50,000 into $600 million could be like this, right? I don't know. I really don't know. I can't tell. If that was all an act and he is a freaking genius and he has something planned for Wall Street and for the hedge funds, good for him, because I couldn't see it. Not from what I saw. Now, obviously, he was very nervous, with 600,000 people watching in the first time in 3 years streaming. So I get it. But he absolutely said nothing, not one thing whatsoever. So GameStop, let's see. Next week, it'll be interesting. Will GameStop rally or will it crash? Because if it crashes, he's going to lose most of that fortune I think he lost close to $300 million just on Friday alone. So we'll see. We'll see. But you know what? Surprisingly, the GameStop meme coin is actually holding relatively well. I thought after that stream, this would just crash to zero. But it did crash, but it's holding around 98 million. So, you know, at least the meme coin is doing somewhat okay. Because I really thought it would just like crash to zero after that performance. But, you know, we'll see next week. We'll see. Maybe he has something up his sleeve, right? Maybe. Who knows? All right. Well, as for, let's move on. Let's talk about Bitcoin. So why did Bitcoin go down, right? Why all of a sudden? It almost seemed like there was a correlation between Roaring Kitty's live stream and Bitcoin price. It was almost like people saw it and somehow equated that to Bitcoin and then just decided to sell, right? It was the timing of it is almost like exact. But you know what? No, it has nothing to do with that. It probably has to do with what this says, which is basically just a quick shakeout. We had a lot of, you know, I talk about, you know, liquidating the shorts, right? And there are billions upon billions of dollars worth of shorts waiting to be liquidated, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But unfortunately, it went the opposite way. Someone decided to dump a little Bitcoin and cause a lot of longs to be liquidated. There were over 300 million longs liquidated, and that brought us down. But, you know, does that mean we're down and out? Does that mean the bull run is over? No. It's not like we haven't seen 69,000 before. Okay, we have seen it plenty of times. Just unfortunate we couldn't build upon that 71.6 and break up to the 75,000 mark. I guess we just have to wait a little bit longer. But obviously, we have seen this many times before, right? Does not mean it's over. Again, another shakeout. Again, Bitcoin's just not ready yet. But who's to say we're not going to test that 71.6, 72,000 again tomorrow or Sunday or Monday? It's going to come again, right? But I did notice that the alts got a little bit weaker. I don't know if you guys been paying attention. Every time Bitcoin comes down a little bit and recovers, the alts seem to get a little bit weaker. So that is a common theme right now, okay? That kind of shows you that altcoin season is not really here yet. There are strong alts, like, for example, BNB broke through its recent high. That's actually quite amazing. And someone like Toncoin has done really well recently too, right? But for the most part, all the other alts are still kind of in that weird moment where they're not really correlating with Bitcoin all that well. In fact, they're losing strength. The Bitcoin dominance is going up, right? So not quite there yet in terms of altcoin season, but we will see that flip. We always do. It's just a matter of time. But anyways, once Bitcoin recovers, we're going to see a lot of shorts liquidated. In fact, because of yesterday's dip, now the bears think they have an advantage. Now they started piling on the shorts. So for Bitcoin, just to get back to 71,000, which again, we were there yesterday, just to get back to 71,000, there will be $1.4 billion worth of shorts that will be liquidated, right? So the bears think that they have some sort of control, that somehow they're going to make some money shorting Bitcoin from here on out. Well, that's just not the case. 1.4 billion, just at 71,000. But what if we went a little bit higher? What if we went 73,000, 74,000, right? Now, because of the shorts piling on, there are $12 billion worth of shorts that goes all the way up to 74,000. So just imagine that. We get a little push. We go up to 75,000. Think about $12 billion worth of liquidations, $12 billion worth of short squeezes. That's going to drive us up way, way above. Next level, 80,000. Next level, 90,000, 100,000. There's not a lot of sell orders at anything above 74,000, right? So again, it's just a matter of time this happens. We're going to see Bitcoin jump to new highs really quickly, right? We just have to get through these pesky shorters right now. It's just a matter of time. It will happen. Despite yesterday, even though Bitcoin came down yesterday, the ETFs, or I should say the institutions that are buying the ETFs, they continue to load up. You would figure yesterday, well, we probably wouldn't see an inflow. We'd probably see an outflow, right? No, we still had $131 million of Bitcoin flowing into the ETFs. And if you look at the entire week, it's absolutely staggering. It's almost $2 billion. I think just eyeballing, it's like probably like 1.8 or something. But close to $2 billion worth of Bitcoin eaten up by the ETFs in a single week. That's 1 week, guys. You can't tell me that having billions upon billions, look at this, in May and June, that's not going to add up to something. We're talking about billions upon billions upon billions. Soon into the 100 billions. We're getting close to that. This is all adding up to something spectacular. Once we do form that new leg up, once we are above 6 figures, we're not going to look back. These ETFs are only going to accumulate more billions each and every week going forward. And I don't know if it's ever going to stop. The larger the Bitcoin gets in price, the more buying there will be. The FOMO is just getting started. And in case you're wondering, now BlackRock is well above Grayscale, right? We knew it was going to happen. It happened in week 20, and now there is a big divergence between the two. And pretty soon, you're going to see BlackRock holding $600,000, no, not 600,000 Bitcoin, just like Grayscale did at the beginning of the cycle, right? We're going to see the complete opposite, and that's unfortunate for Grayscale. But we knew this was coming. But like I said, these ETFs are not going to stop. And we have ETFs around the world now. Australia has ETFs. Hong Kong has ETFs. Canada has ETFs. USA obviously have ETFs. And more countries are looking to open up Bitcoin spot ETFs too. They are not going to stop buying. Okay. What else is there? Whales. They're not going to stop buying either. Just look at what happened since... You know when that started going up? If you look at it, you can't see from the bottom. I know it's hard to see, but that actually started shooting up in March. When we had a bad month in April, right? Like, yeah, it kind of stopped, but not really. The price stopped, but the accumulation didn't. And this keeps on going up. This is measuring addresses with over 100 Bitcoin to 1,000 Bitcoin. And you can see how that just keeps going up. That means the Bitcoin whales continue to load up, just like the institutions, because short-term volatility means nothing. It's all about long-term gains, hedging against inflation long-term, and nothing does a better job than Bitcoin. And the final thing I'll say about Bitcoin is this. Bullish crossover has happened. Don't let yesterday's dip scare you. Like I said, it's not like we haven't seen 69,000 before, okay? We've seen it plenty of times. So don't let a little dip fear you out of the market, because greater heights and massive gains is right around the corner, okay? We're talking about 6-figure Bitcoin, possibly by the end of July or even August timeframe. There are a lot of charters that are also saying the same thing. And I said that back in February, I think, of this year, or January, February, I did an interview, and I said I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin in 6 figures by July. Still time. Still 2 months left to go. All right. Now, outside of Bitcoin, what else is there? A couple interesting things. Well, actually, one major, I guess, niche that's been overlooked, but I think they have a chance. You know, we'll see. Altcoin season isn't here yet, but when altcoin season does come here, we could see a massive turnaround. And what niche am I talking about? Metaverses, right? Look at this. McDonald's, they're coming out with their own metaverse in Singapore. They're going to call it My Happy Place. You can make so many jokes about that. Anyways, My Happy Place metaverse. Letting locals build virtual burgers, play multiple games, and earn rewards. Okay, so obviously a lot of brands and companies, they're not going to give up on this. There is still something to it. It's just right now, it doesn't seem like it's very hot. But back in 2021, metaverses were blowing up like crazy, right? And I think there's still a good chance that they will, because they're still big powerhouses, especially the ones that are still building in crypto. For example, I recently covered this. This was just a couple days ago. Sandbox, which is one of the biggest metaverse plays in the crypto space, they just raised $20 million. $20 million. Okay, so that means obviously they're still moving forward and building, right? And Sandbox is a game that I did play briefly once in 2021, and it's more or less like a crypto Minecraft, sort of, but you could build out your land, your virtual land, and there's already custom lands, and there's missions that you can do, and more importantly, you own everything, right? Everything that's involved, like, for example, the land or the items that you have, they're all NFTs. And a lot of brands do utilize the map and use it as an advertisement board, basically. You could see all the different companies that have land ownership, right? And you can zoom in and explore their land and see what's going on with them, right? So that's kind of a unique thing when it comes to metaverses inside crypto. You own it. Once you have the land, it's yours. No one else could take it away from you, right? And anything in the land, it's all yours. You get to own it, right? So something like Sandbox, I would say they're pretty darn big. They're still over $1 billion in market cap. They got new funding. They're backed by Animoku Brands, so they could definitely make a comeback this cycle when altcoin season hits. Now, another example of a metaverse, and I know most of you guys do not like Cardano, but I gotta mention this anyways. Oh, and by the way, Cardano's Clay Nation is like one of the most popular NFT collections. Is also partnered up with Sandbox, right? So you kind of got that collaboration. But for Cardano fans, there is a metaverse that is being developed right now called Cornucopias, okay? And this has been hyped up since 2021. So they're actually not just exclusive on Cardano now, but they are using Unreal Engine. They're trying to build out a huge MMO like game, right? That they're still working on this. They're still working on this. But this does bring some excitement to Cardano, because a lot of people say, well, there's nothing going on Cardano. And Charles Hoskinson even recently said, he hates crypto media because everyone's like bashing Cardano, saying nothing's being done and stuff. Well, I mean, here's something fun, right? Besides all the partnership with Africa and Argentina and everything, some retail players, retail investors, they want to have some fun. Maybe degen into a little memes. Maybe play a little game here and there, right? So there are companies still building. And I'm bringing them up because I have covered them before. And also, I met the guys. Where is that? I had it here, right? During Consensus, I believe the two founders, saw me, sat me down and made me play their game here. They have a mini game. It's a racing game. It actually looked pretty good. I did horrible with it. But their strategy is to build mini games and wait for the full development of the game to be released, right? But again, pretty good followers. I mean, that's another example of a metaverse being built out, right? Kind of a game metaverse. And you know what? Maybe when it's done, it'll bring some excitement to Cardano, right? Hopefully, fingers crossed. And the last example is something new, but I saw them at Consensus as well. In fact, at the airport, I saw them already being advertised, Somnia, which is also a metaverse play, but they're not just like a game. They're not like Sandbox or Cornucopias. They're trying to be a L1, kind of like a overall layer to all metaverses. And this is kind of interesting because they want to partner up with the likes of Sandbox and Cornucopias and Illuvium and everyone else that's building out a metaverse, because ultimately they are just like a gateway. They're like a browser, right? So they're a little bit different. They even have a metaverse browser. So they're partnering up with everyone and trying to get them on board so that users can go to a place and say, hey, I like to play in this metaverse, or I like to discover this metaverse or this metaverse. So it's kind of interesting concept. They're a complete L1 that is focused on just embracing the metaverses from the other chains, basic interoperability, right? And how this relates to something that I have is Yuga Labs too. A lot of Yuga Labs people, like Bored Ape people and other side people, or holders I should say, because I do have some other side NFTs. Yuga Labs also recently partnered up with these guys because, again, because of this interoperability. So for me, like for example, I hold other side NFTs. I'm waiting for this other side metaverse game to come out from Yuga Labs, which seems like it's never going to be done. But when it is done, you'll be able to interact and utilize your Bored Apes or your Kodas or your Cyberpunks, right? Within the metaverse games, within Somnia. So they're kind of bridging that gap. And hopefully when the other side metaverse game is out, it'll also be there that people can discover, right? So they are forming some big partnerships. So it's an interesting project that kind of relates, sort of, but trying to bridge everything together, right? All right, that's pretty much it in terms of metaverses. Again, I think right now metaverses are not very hot, but when altcoin season comes, when games get hot again, right? I think metaverses have a good chance of getting hot once again. And I know a lot of you guys do hold a lot of metaverse plays from 2021. All right, let's do some Q&A. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. I know I start a little bit later than normal. Let's see if I missed anything in the live chat. You know, if I had 600,000 people watching me, like Roaring Kitty, Bitcoin would be at $1 million, you know. Roaring Kitty well, we'll see. He's going to continue live stream, I'm sure. But he has the attention of the world. His live stream was posted within CNBC. Like, everyone tuned in. He could have said something. Anything. I'm still waiting for him to embrace crypto. I want him or someone to ask him about Bitcoin and have him say something good about it. All right, let's see. Yeah, GameStop was like halted nonstop, like every 5 minutes. All right, let's see here. Anything? A lot of stuff about Roaring Kitty. Port nocturnal. There's no need to say that in caps. Cornucopias is going to donkey kick everyone in the liver once they realize it's also infrastructure play. That's funny. That's actually quite funny. Nine Breaker asks, I don't understand why Roaring Kitty would rather try to pump GME while knowing all of Wall Street is against him instead of pumping a GME meme coin. Because he has, I mean, that's his thing though. He's known as the leader of that GME pump. He can't just all of a sudden say, nah, you know, I'm not going to try to pump GME anymore. I'm going to go into meme coins, you know. He had a chance when he came back and was just tweeting memes. If he just started tweeting like crypto memes, for example, he had a chance to escape. But because he posted his portfolio and now he's doing live streams about it, like he's back in that world. But who knows? Maybe he's some genius. He has a plan. And this is just a ruse to, you know, be able to buy more. Mike G. Roaring Georgie. You know, I will say, though, I love his intro. His intro is really good. It makes me kind of want to, like, create an intro. Do you think Roaring Kitty is not saying much because he's worried about SEC? Yeah. I mean, if he has $600 million or $100 million, whatever it is, right? He should have a lawyer to tell him what he can say, what he can't say, or just don't live stream at all. But it's his choice to live stream. The whole thing. You gotta think the SEC is watching him very carefully. I no idea. I do like his intro quite a lot, though. I think his intro is very funny. It's too long, but it's good. Andrew Tate is talking about meme coins on his Twitter nonstop. What's RMT? Is that the meme coin that he's talking about? Or is that one that you just like? Yeah, certainly. That is not it. The Cardano team has already pulled your ears and put money in your bag so you can start speaking well of them. I wish. What I really want is Charles to fight in the IFC. Hey, if I have to talk good about Cardano to get him to fight in the IFC, I'll do it. I mean, he's still a fairly young guy, so... I don't know. I think it'll be fun to have him fight in IFC. He's not an influencer, but he has a lot of influence. There's no doubt. I just saw a clip. I don't know if you guys follow strongmen, but is it Brian? No, it's not Brian Shaw. The other guy from England. He's very entertaining. Oh man, who's that guy? He was a previous world's strongest man. Eddie Hall. You know, recently there was a viral clip of this 400-pound guy fighting two women, right? And now I see Eddie Hall. He went into some MMA league and he's fighting. I mean, Eddie Hall's like a 400-pound dude, really strong dude. And he was fighting like two 150-pound guys and he destroyed them. Like, I don't know where these fight leagues, I mean, how these things are happening. But Eddie Hall, you know, he's now a big influencer. I would love to get someone like him to fight in IFC, but probably it's not going to happen. But I don't know if you guys saw that clip. I just saw that clip today. He's like fighting like two little dudes, and he just completely wrecked them, knocked them out. Drew, what do you think? PYR, bull run, 100 plus? Well, they're still hanging in there. They're still like one of the larger gaming plays, but they're really beyond that now, because now they have their L1 and they have an incubator, they have their own decks, they have their own everything. You know, they're trying to just come out with everything. So 2021, they blew up. You know, when the gaming niche gets hot again, they could certainly blow up. Yeah, Eddie Hall just took that one dude and threw him like, you know, he was a child. And then he gave him a vicious right hand hook, and that guy was out completely. I felt bad. I thought he might have like really hurt the dude. Warsaken, I want your take on slow decline in the NFT market due to so many low quality projects. You know, that's the thing. NFTs were the hot thing in 2021, right? Memes were not. This cycle is all memes. I don't know if NFTs are going to get hot this cycle. Everyone is involved with memes, and there's more and more coming out, and that's how degens are making money. Degens were making money on NFTs in 2021, and now it's like every new collection from whoever, you know, there's just blow up. Now it's about coins. Memes and celebrity coins, they're all doing hot. I just don't see NFTs getting the same, you know, reaching the same heights as they did in 2021. Um, Ryan Gordon was at the last Crowded Combat. He's friends with Thor from Game of Thrones, who's the guy who Eddie Hall fought. Yeah, those two do not like each other, and Thor and Eddie Hall. And Eddie Hall is talking mad shit towards him. They got in a boxing match, and Thor kind of embarrassed Eddie in a way. But those two guys, I mean, okay, reality is they're probably never going to fight in IFC. And even if they do, there would be no opponent to fight them. It's silly. Like, who am I going to find that's like 400 pounds or 350 pounds, you know, of pure muscle to fight those guys, right? You would, even like a legit, like, I don't know, like you take John Jones, who's now like a super heavyweight, right? I don't know what he fights at now, like probably 225, 250. Let's just say you take John Jones at 250, okay, and you put him against Eddie Hall. Like, I just, as skilled as John Jones is, Eddie Hall would just body slam him like nonstop. Like, if he catches him or lays on him, there's no way he could get out. Like, I can't see anyone like not being 350 pounds being able to do anything against him. I don't know. You know, Crow's only like 275. I think Eddie Hall, no offense to Crow, Eddie Hall would destroy Crow. If I had to make a bet, I'd put all of it on Eddie Hall. Like, I just don't see how anyone could stand up to that brute strength. Yeah, maybe with a submission, arm bar, or like a leg lock, or like a chokehold if he gets on top of him. I don't know. But in crowded combat, there is nothing. In IFC, there's no ground game. It's just all pounding, punches and kicks. No submissions, no arm bars, nothing like that. Gerald says, stream our data. It's awesome, but bad advertisement. You mean they don't market well? Yeah, I don't know. Follow up. When do you see NFT market coming back, if ever? I just answered that question. I don't see them coming back this cycle because of memes. X Control, welcome. I know you were asking about that other Dex on Ton the other day. I don't know. You guys, I think you guys, that 100-pound weight difference, I think you guys are discounting that. There's a reason why there are weight classes. Chances of getting $1 million with a 150K portfolio. 10 times? Less than 10 times? 10x? I think it could happen. I think it could happen. JVC, try to reach out Brendan Schwab, former USD fighter, has YouTube channel, fighter, kid, golden. See, the thing is, we can't, if they're too good, they can't fight in the IFC because there's no one else to fight them, right? I do want to expand to other influencers outside of crypto, but primarily crypto people. And I think I found someone to fight Mario, which has just as much influence, which would be crazy in Singapore. But like the problem is a lot of ex-UFC fighters or like up and coming guys, you know, like they're not real influencers. And who are you going to get to fight them? No one is daring to fight them because most people fighting the UFC, they have zero experience. They're not going to fight someone that has like 15 years of fighting experience, right? That just wouldn't be fair. I'm still trying to find Cock Inu or Cock, trying to get them a fight, but I think the guy, Brave Cock, who was going to fight, I don't think he could fight in July. He told me he has some kind of travel plans or something, which would be unfortunate because I'm trying to set them up with a fight. They couldn't fight last time during consensus, but trying to get them try to get them a good fight during July. Jero, I think I covered this project before. They really have made zero traction since 2018, man. Their 2021 high was below their 2018 high. They're just not good. Like you said, at marketing. Streamer, hyperskills, live data for AI, video deepen. I'm pretty sure they just added AI recently. Yeah, so they're like a theta. They're a theta competitor, basically. It's something like this. I just don't see it happening unless there's a lot of deep end projects that are kind of doing the same thing. And considering they're still like 6 years in and have no traction, I just don't think they're gonna do it. Two rounds is too short. You know, a lot of people think that until they actually get in the pit and fight, because most of the guys are gassed out by round 2, right? Like, there is a third round if there is a tie. Like Tech Hustler and Tactical, they won 3 rounds. Ben also, with More Light, BitBoy and More Light won 3 rounds. But, you know, for the most part, we're talking about just normal people, guys, like not fighters. People that have trained for like 3 months maybe, and when you're throwing punches and kicks, it's tiring. But you know, maybe if the quality of people or fighters, I should say, get better over time, then we can change, you know, add more rounds or more minutes per round. All right, guys. I'll let you get your Saturday back. Overall, don't be discouraged by the mini little dip that we saw yesterday. Things are still going according to plan. Just a little shakeout. As for Roaring Kitty, no idea what happened there with his live stream. He probably has the most influence of any man on the planet right now. And I have no idea what's going on with him. Maybe he has some genius plan that we don't know of. I guess we'll see. All right, guys. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on Monday. Look forward to another Sunday walk video tomorrow. All right, and I'll see you guys on Monday, bright and early, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Take care.